Okay, we're back with round number 3 with a familiar face, or should I say familiar hands. Keith's back here, obviously still on Griffith's Death Shadow, and we have more your wheelhouse.
Yeah, Paulo Bueno. He is on blue-white, you know, Miracles, the straight 4 terminus list, which is nice.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be some fun stuff.
Fun for you. I don't know about for Keith if this is gonna be fun. It's funny.
I think it's still gonna be fun for Keith. Honestly, it's not.
It's not as bad as.
It's not that bad.
When I was playing Death Shadow with my Kiln Fiend, it felt really bad, but.
But that's because you were playing
I played
Kiln
that
Fiend.
card. Yeah, that's true. Not exactly the same deck.
All right, looks like did they both keep?
No, Keith.
Keith went to 6. Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he's using that little pseudo Scar tool. Because he's got, well,
Oh,
he
'cause
gets
he's
to
got
choose
Street
if he
Wraith.
wants to draw it
Yeah.
with the Street Wraith right away, or he can fetch it away.
He's
So, I mean,
thinking.
Hollowed Fountain tapped looks pretty much like blue-white. I mean, it could be some other variant, like Jeskai or something, but
Yeah.
If I'm Keith, I'm looking at, okay, he's probably on Miracles or blue-white
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
So he likes to draw that card. I didn't
Yeah.
actually see what it was, but I think it's at the front of his hand, so let's see if we can get a little sneak peek.
And Watery Grave.
There's that Watery Grave. That
The favorite
classic.
fetch.
One thing to note, Paolo's playing an one oust in the main board, which is obviously extremely good against Death Shadow. So we've seen 2 decks now have a little bit of that extra spice. With Edgar was playing the Chameleon Colossus for Grixis Death Shadow, so it looks like this deck is the real deal. It's back.
All right, now we gotta look at Paolo's hand. He's got a Cryptic Path, a Logic Knot, and then 3 lands. Those Field of Ruins actually going to be relevant in the late game.
I was just going to comment on that.
Yeah.
Grixis Death Shadow, I think, plays generally 2 basics.
Yep, just an island and a swamp. I mean, we can look. Yep, Keith is on Island, Swamp, and then 5 fetches, or 5 shocks. So, yeah, those Field of Ruins going to be relevant should Paolo make it to the late game.
It feels really bad if you're the Death Shadow player against the Field of Ruin deck. He is on how many Field of Ruins? He's on full 4 Field of Ruins and 1 Ghost Quarter.
Yep.
So the Ghost Quarter could actually get those basics out of the deck. Also, if he draws one or if he Thought Scours one, it really feels bad. You really need to keep track of your lands since you play so many fetches in Grixis Death Shadow about your Thought Scours.
Yeah. And even going for like a turn 3 Field of Ruin isn't totally insane.
But now,
like Keith is really struggling to hit land drops here. Not that he needs very many to operate, but cutting that Watery Grave into a basic would have been very interesting. But he elected to play the dual land, which is very respectable.
and obviously he doesn't want to be fetching basics, so his left total is going to get low as he gets more land drops. And does he get to the point where he could just lose to Flash and Snap, untap to a Colonnade and Snap?
I
This
think
is not as much of a threat as the Jeskai decks, but I mean,
it can happen,
still
right?
there, right?
I mean, to be fair, if Paulo's in a position where he can snap, untap, and swing with Snap and Colonnade, it's not looking good for Keith. But Keith does still have those main board ways to deal with Colonnade and Snap pretty efficiently with Path, right?
So this is interesting here. So Paolo obviously has the Logic Knot, which Keith knows about, but he also could have Stub backup here. So does he just exile 2 cards from his library and keep that 1 mana up for Stub?
It's interesting.
Because Keith's on a 3/3 Death Shadow, if that, but it's still on the stack. Obviously, he doesn't counter it.
He doesn't counter it. Yeah.
So he has 2 Logic Knots in his hand. That's interesting.
Now he plays with the Field of Ruin. This is very interesting, and I think he's still got that Cryptic from earlier, right? So he's literally sitting on 3 counter spells. I don't think that was very sound.
I'm not
and
sure
now Keith
I
gets
agree
to play a
with that
fetch.
line. Yeah, so now you can't really even
Pump it up.
interact with that. So
These
Stub
Logic
now.
Knots
Now
are
Stub is
yeah.
just going to be a straight counter.
Yeah, these Logic Knots are really not going to look nice.
And really, Keith is not under any pressure to play anything, right? He can sort of sit back if he's got a stubborn now and sort of put the onus on Paolo, knowing that he has 2 counterspells. He doesn't know about the second Logic Knot, but he knows about the first one.
I think maybe Paulo was really highly evaluated. Like he was valuing the path in his graveyard really, really highly when he made that play. But I feel like you could still you could tap out for the Logic Knot, exile the land, and force Keith to stub.
Yeah.
Like he's still gonna get the stub off, but then you get to keep your path in the graveyard and.
And your Teferi could resolve.
Yeah.
Teferi is also an answer to Death Shadow, at least temporarily.
Yeah. Now you're just in a
But
really
obviously,
shitty position.
Teferi tucking with a counterspell backup after you've already... It makes your next Logic not complete garbage.
Yep.
Also puts him in a situation where if he has a fetch line, he might need to fetch before. Yeah, there's that stub.
Do you think he went for bounce draw there?
I think he went for a counter. Right? To
Oh.
counter that Death
Oh,
Shadow.
it was in, while it was in the stack, yeah. And then he just
So now he's in a position
Now
where
he's
he's just dead.
dead. Well,
I mean,
he's not
he can draw a
dead.
card, untap 2 lands, and hope to find a path or something, or an oust obviously would be perfect.
I mean, the Death Shadows are
best.
putting him, assuming the life totals are correct, I
Does-
haven't been paying enough
Does he
attention.
have 2 more Death Shadows in hand? Yes, he does.
This game is over.
So he's got access to 4 Death Shadows, and he's also got a Senior Battle Rage. So he's actually, Paolo doesn't know yet, but he is dead. Actually, no, he can go Teferi plus untap 2 lands, and then on his turn, Miracle a Terminus with that opt.
Yeah, I
I think
would have
he's
went
just-
for that. I would have went for the Teferi, because, like,
You have to advance your board, right?
Jesus, yeah, I would have went for the Teferi,
I mean, he's
or just the opt play. I mean, the opt play is not the best.
do you,
I'm looking for it.
can you Miracle it?
Is he
Cryptic?
going?
Question mark?
I mean, I can see he should take this, right? At current, he can go to 1.
No, well, I mean,
But like he just passes
He's
priority.
going for
Keith goes for the battle rage. That's when
but
you go for
you
like
see he can get value out of his
what
counter
bounce
spell now.
draw.
Did he draw a Cryptic?
He has a cryptic. We know has a. Why is he going for the Logic Knot?
I don't know if he has a Cryptic. Do we know he has a Cryptic?
We know he has a cryptic because of the Thoughtseize, right?
No.
Oh,
No, he tried to cast it to counter the
Right.
last one.
My bad, my bad.
It looked like the opt found a blue card. I just don't know what blue card that was. Okay, so he's in a position where he can Miracle again.
I can't see.
Yeah, Flash is a little more Paolo. Come on.
He's got not Teferi, Island something.
No, here comes Teferi. So he's basically looking to set up a Miracle for next turn. Otherwise, he's just super dead, right?
We have to find like opt here.
So he had didn't have any cantrip to find that.
I was really curious to see what that last. But yeah, no, you're totally right. I just forgot about that.
Yeah, so I think the big error there was just the Logic Knot.
I didn't like that line. Yeah.
That one Death Shadow.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna get wrecked by Logic Knot, or sorry, get wrecked by the stub. But there's a way you can keep the path. And if you, or you could just, you know.
Yeah,
to be fair, honestly, if you're exiling a path with a Logic Knot to get rid of a Death Shadow,
It's like you pathed
It's like you
it.
pathed it.
Except they don't get the land.
so yeah, that just seems like I think those are 2 lines that are both better than what Paulo did. I think he
Yeah. And honestly, because
a bit of an oversight there.
and even if you do keep the path, you bait the stub,
Yeah.
which obviously
is
counters
gonna
his
be
Cryptic
good.
command, right?
Yeah.
So Cryptic is a really, really good card to buy time if that's what you're looking to do. It obviously would have countered the second Death Shadow, would have bought him a few turns, but I mean, he could be thinking, yeah, if I can get this path, I can draw another basic out of his deck and Field of Ruin. Maybe he was looking a
he
little
was
bit too
evaluating.
far down the line.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where his head could have been. But I mean, honestly, Keith had.
Yeah. The quad Death Shadow. Discard, stub, quad Death Shadow.
Sometimes it's just not meant to be, no matter what you do. But Paolo, we saw him take out those 3 Rest in Pieces, the Celestial Purges. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring in here? Is Vendilion Clique something that you like as a way to get around Stubborn Denial to resolve the Wrath or something like that? Also has like a surprise blocker.
What do I like? I mean, you want to cut some of the more expensive stuff. You're keeping in all your removal. think you can pretty happily cut some of the walkers because they're particularly weak to stub. You don't want all these cryptics either, and you don't want logic knot. So you can, Rest in Peace is really good here. Purge is good. The Angels aren't even bad, right? And then Dispel is definitely an upgrade over Negate. You're not really going to get in a position where you can negate a discard spell, for example. So Dispel's just going to be straight upgrade, and you want to be able to trade 1-for-1 with that stub mana. So I think the Dispel's an option. Timely isn't the worst.
Yeah, I mean,
Keith's probably not keeping in his Battle Rages, right?
that's the debate that I've had with many players. I agree that the Battle Rages should come out just because you're looking to just stick a threat and you don't want dead cards in your hand.
Yeah.
You know that the blue-white control deck typically is going to be able to answer your first 2 threats or so. Like you'd sort of assume that they can answer for sure 1 and probably the second one. So you really just want creature density and not so much trying to race. But I know some people who think that, you know, the matchup just gets worse and worse as the game progresses, and you need to just kill them fast. So we'll see. We'll see what. I wonder what Keith is doing on his side.
That is an interesting one, yeah. Let's have a look at what Keith could bring in. Definitely the Walker package we were mentioning earlier. He's got 1 Lily of the Veil and 1 Lily Last Hope. Again, like, your argument of keeping in the, well, not your argument, but the argument of keeping in Battle Rage to try and go for a fast game as opposed to something grindier. I definitely think you should just try to grind. I don't think you're ever going to be able to go for a quick kill with Battle Rage in this matchup. And I think you'd rather just go for the walkers, go for the extra stub. D-Stroke is good here, Snap is good here. Just try to have really good value plays and trade up on mana.
Yeah, and you like K-Command this, or no? You think he's just going to be sort of exiling and bot aiming on most of his cards?
That's, you're never really going to have very many creatures in the graveyard unless you have Thought Scour and Street Wraith. The way
Really,
Paulo's going to deal with your threats is with tucking and with exile. So I don't know how much I like the K command. Although
that's fair.
Shooting a Teferi after it down ticks and then discarding, that's actually pretty powerful. So
Interesting. But I mean, we talk about exile and we look at Paulo's hand. He's got a Path, a Celestial Purge, and a Detention Sphere. So yeah, these things are definitely getting exiled.
Yeah.
The good thing about what I like about taking the Death Shadow line a little bit slower against blue control is that you have so much discard, right? You're going to be able to work your way around what he has.
Yeah.
And you're going to have information. Sometimes you just can't beat his hand, but a lot of times you can sort of shape your plays around what he has and take the things that you can't beat.
And discard's going to be huge in this matchup, and also just drawing discard late is not going to be bad because Paulo's hand is always going to be full.
The problem is with these walkers that we talk about, typically really getting into trouble. You look at he has Celestial Purge and Detention Sphere. He has 2 answers.
Yeah.
To walkers, but obviously they're still going to be great.
They're still good, and even if you're in Keith's position and Paulo kills your Lily, well, that's 1 less removal spell for the Death Shadow you play next turn, right? You're trying to really run Paulo out.
Yeah, it's all about threat density, right?
For sure.
Which is why we're sort of the mentality that you take out the Battle Rages.
Yeah.
Just threat density.
Definitely down
You
for
only
that.
need 1 threat to win this game.
You don't want to get 2-for-1, and Battle Rage is really a great way to have that happen.
Oh yeah.
Investing 2 mana and then getting blown out is a surefire way to lose the game against something like blue control.
Okay, so we see him using the baubles to just get as much information as possible. Paulo not fetching that away. Well, he still might, but let's see if he.
It's so hard to see his hand. He's got a Teferi, I think, as well as those 3 removal spells you were saying. But maybe he's looking for land, in which case that makes sense to not crack the fetch now.
Yeah, I thought that the first bauble, did it look at Paulo's hand?
I think
top card, because then he could have fetched that away, right? But I think you're right, he was looking for lands. Looks like he has all the tools, he just needs to have the resources to cast them.
Yep.
It feels really bad to get stubbed without Ferocious.
Yeah.
But sometimes that puts you in that situation where you're tight on lands and you need to answer. But it looks like Keith's really digging. He's sort of bottoming a ton of cards, just trying to shape his hand in a way that's going to be able to fight what Paolo's holding. Especially, you know, if you know the blue-white control player is missing land drops, you gotta know that his hand is really strong.
Yeah,
right?
his
Keeping
hand is gas, and
seven,
you need to bring the heat quickly.
Let's see. Okay, so he's gonna get some good information here.
Let's have a look. And he currently still knows the top card of Paulo's library, right? So this is
But
a
I
great
mean, with
turn.
the third land drop, I feel like even without the third land drop,
Yeah.
you fetch that away. You just don't want to give him that information. But his hand is super stacked. Keith is yet to present us threat, and he has 1, 2, 3 answers, 4 if you count Cryptic Command, and then 5 if you count Teferi. So I think if Paolo's gonna be able to hit his land drops, it's gonna be really tough for Keith to combat this.
For sure. Hollow shortcutting here, just getting that Hollow Fountain out of his deck. We know he's going to do it on instead. Keith has nothing else to do.
So it just takes the most efficient removal spell.
Yeah, and I like that. And you know, I mean, you see Paulo's third land, but taking a cheap spell here sounds really nice.
Is there any world where you take the more diverse answers, where you want to sort of shape a way to resolve a walker that can't be answered? For example, like Path doesn't kill walkers. Are you looking to maybe take? Is there a line where you want to take the D sphere and then maybe try to bait Celestial Purge? Just thinking Paolo is going to be more mana efficient and want to keep his 1 mana answers later, and then being able to resolve something like a Liliana.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, D sphere not being able to snap it back is relevant, but however, you can get yourself in awkward situations where Paulo can bounce his own D-sphere and then bring it back down over on 2 threats this time. So maybe there's an argument there, but I think taking the path here is nice. And then when Paulo's expending these versatile removal spells on your creatures, then that's going to free up your walkers, right?
So
either way.
Well, I mean, it looks like if Keith has a stub here, like he's gonna essentially run him out of removal. He doesn't have the stub, unfortunately. But if he was able to,
He just didn't. He has 2 stubs and he didn't cast them.
huh?
That's
okay.
really interesting.
That is really interesting. Does he have another threat in hand?
I don't really know.
Is he trying to sell something here? Is he trying to?
Is he trying to sell that he doesn't have the
To
stub?
indicate to Paolo, I don't have a stub, and then he's gonna just get him with double stub. That's really, I think that's some next level big brain plays for sure.
Maybe he's gonna try and he's gonna look to see if Paulo has an aggressive walker play or something. Maybe shock coming in here.
So not
from
too
Keith.
worried about his life total. I mean, Paolo does have a Celestial Colonnade. I don't know how relevant that is. But a second red source basically means that Field of Ruin isn't going to be able to cut off red.
Yeah.
Although I don't think post-board red really
matters. Yeah. What is it? Is Bolt even staying in?
I don't think so.
Leave red?
I think maybe there's 1K command, maybe.
Maybe there's one. Yeah.
But even still, with all the delve stuff and all the exile, it doesn't seem too likely.
I'm pretty happy hitting the
Water
grave here.
You
Yeah.
want to cut blue and you don't care about the red, so hitting a blue and a black is.
Yeah.
kinda
You
where
also don't want to
be.
give him 2 mana on your turn if you don't have to, right?
Also, I didn't keep track of his Thought Scour, but if he's by some bad luck Thought Scoured Basic Island, that would have been really interesting, where he wouldn't have been able to protect his Gurmag.
Yeah. Ooh, another reason for taking the path is it thins.
That's true.
It
will cut more of his basics out.
That's interesting. But yeah, no, holding up the stub. Do you think there's any chance Paulo goes for the Teferi here? Do you think he got baited
well,
into it?
let's see if Keith sold it.
No.
But
Well, I mean, maybe he sold it, but
I mean, Teferi just gets hit by Gurmag unless you're obviously down ticking, which I don't hate. Down ticking, assuming it's his last threat. But it's really interesting. But the thing is, he has 2 stubs, right? So he could have got the value out of the first stub and then still have the second stub back up. Whereas in that position, if he had 2 answers, he'd only be able to counter 1. So looks pretty good here. Obviously, bouncing a Gurmag Angler is pretty sweet.
yeah.
So I feel like you have to stub this.
You don't want to have to replay that Gurmag later. That's not going to go well for you. There, he shows.
We
the
found a
stub.
Snapcaster too, so.
We got a snap stub going later.
Oh man, so he's got stub, snap, stub. Youth.
Do you think? Okay, now maybe Paulo's like considering, but I mean, you're also, as Keith, you're also representing a disdainful stroke here, which is
This is true,
definitely a
but
consideration.
also if he untaps, like your snap has to be on your radar, right? That is, if you leave him open to snap stub, are you really gonna find a better spot where you're actually have a reasonable life total right now? Like you might not find another spot to cast Teferi.
He goes for the D sphere, gets
Stubbed.
gets stubbed, and now Keith's got the snap stub up, and he's crashing in for 5.
Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, what
It's a really awkward spot.
what if
now,
Paolo just goes, hit you with this colonnade? Go. Like, I mean, I'm assuming Keith's pushes are out of the deck. Are all of them out? Do you leave one in for this scenario? Do you,
I
where
don't
are
hate that
you?
line. He could have also
I think
taken
there's
that
actually,
line.
there's actually a push in his hand.
He's going for the Teferi. Oh my god, he's gonna get snap stubbed.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man.
That's gonna be gross. Honestly, because he
He's
could
just
have
out of resources now.
he
Like,
could have colonnaded last turn, and then he could be colonnading this turn. He could have.
and then even if there is a push,
Yeah.
you have another colonnade.
Yeah,
And then you'd have to have 2 pushes.
like this is just punishment.
So like we sort of talked at the beginning of like Celestial Colonnade is a reasonable way to beat
It turns
these
the clock,
decks, right? And it sucks when you have like 3 answers in your hand to be like, I'm going to use my mana this turn on my main phase to animate this land. It's going to deal 4 damage. Okay, so he has the Logic Knot, which is huge. So he's going to get to tuck this Gurmag.
He's gonna tuck the he's gonna counter the snap, tuck the Gurmag. Oh, did he have another stub in hand? Oh my god.
Oh my lord!
He goes for the snap. Paulo goes for the Logic Knot, and Keith has the 3rd stub.
And now your Celestial Colony is on blocking duty.
Yeah, you're top decking out of those. Yeah.
Honestly, like Paolo has 2 chump blocks.
Wow. If he had gone for the attack with the colonnade that turn before, and then this past turn,
Yeah.
he would have just turned the corner.
Really,
so
really
interesting.
interesting. Hard to have that foresight though. Like,
Yeah.
like obviously, if he plays a Death Shadow, then you're not racing anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like at that point, you still have the option to play the Teferi. So what did he go for that turn that you wanted to do the colony? He went for the D-Sphere?
Well, yeah, the first turn he went for D Sphere, he got stubbed, and then the next turn he went to Fairy, and then that exchange occurred with the snap and the stub, which was filthy.
Okay, Colonnade's getting active now.
Does he have now Keith threw the push?
No, he had the push.
Oh. And
I'm
well, I
pretty
mean,
sure
at
he
least
had
you
the
get- at least
push.
you get the purge in
But the
here.
thing is, like, if you had done it the turn you said, the push would take care of one of them and then still have
Yeah.
2 attacks, and he would be dead at this point. But, I mean, he drew the Celestial Purge, which is huge. This really kind of puts Keith in a really awkward position where this is his last threat, and now he's got to somehow deal with a Colonnade. Like, his next snap needs to be a snap push.
And
whereas-
he can't crack this this delta and go to 4 either, right?
No, you're right.
What's he got in hand?
Hard to see. Oh, there we go. That was the Mangles.
Is that
He's
Lily?
got-
It's Lily
he's
last
got a
hope and
last
a bobble
hope.
and a brutality, I think.
I mean,
He's
last
gobbling.
hope gets to rebuy your. Oh no, that's exiled. Oh man, it can.
The snap's in the bin though. The snap's in the bin.
Yeah. Does he have double block? He does. No, he does not. No, because
Too shiny.
because Paolo Field of ruined his water grave, and he got an island with it. And
Yeah.
he has a. So the glare is there, but I'm pretty sure that's a steam vent. Yeah, he needs to get that next block.
Yeah, you're right.
But how's he gonna?
How does he not like?
I don't know how he.
I don't know what the
I don't
line
know.
is here. Like, you can't play Liana or you just lose, right?
I mean, unless he's like. He's
You
going.
can't,
oh,
you can't even bluff push.
Is he gonna go like brutality you?
Does he have a brutality?
I think he had a brutality. He's gonna go brutality, yeah.
Drain
and
you?
then just drain
It's
you.
beautiful.
And then his hand was like what? It was Lily. and
So did
Oh, he's drawing off bobble. Maybe he's trying to.
did,
draw a-
did he
draw a
bobble
snap.
himself, try to find a snap? And
Yeah, and
now
then
puts
fetch.
Paolo in a position where he's like, you animate your colonnade, I'm going to kill you? With the snappy boy? Right? Is that his line?
I mean, like, Paulo has to.
Oh, I think he has another. I think he just.
Oh, that's
I think
so
he
awkward.
bobbled into a second brutality. So I think he's just like, I'm gonna drain you twice.
But he fetched after
Oh.
bobbling, right?
Paolo just drew a
A
Lyra.
Lyra. Oh my gosh. Do you
my
play
gosh.
it? Do you play it thinking? But the thing is, if Keith has snap in hand, he wins the game no matter what, right? Because if you go for the colonnade or for the Lyra, you're just gonna get snap brutality next turn.
So you can't play around that.
You can't. I don't think you play the Lyra then. I mean, I guess.
But I mean,
no, you do play the Lyra.
Yeah, like I think you play the Lyra.
Yeah, because you putting your opponent to 2 doesn't do anything. It cuts off.
And you want
his
to be
ability
like it
to,
would have.
Street Wraith, and that's it.
It's a really hard choice.
I think you play the
I think you have
Lyra,
to play
and then you're about to get crunked.
Is there any world where you're looking to Field of Ruin a blue source? If you were to Field of Ruin that turn, he can't snap Collector Brutality anymore because he's on 3 lands.
So
It's so narrow, but I mean it's a
But then he
line.
can just snap and then kill you with the snap. Just flash it in, right?
that's- but I mean, you say go, and in his upkeep you do it. It's a line.
I like the Lyra.
I mean, it feels really bad if he's playing 3 basics. It feels, but I mean, let's say if you're putting him on snap,
Yeah.
that's the really only way to beat it, right?
Yeah, he didn't have it. He didn't have the brutality or anything. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
We're going to our game.
Paulo played the Lyra, and then Keith had to Street Wraith so that he wasn't.
Oh man, that was sweet. I mean, Paolo ripped Purge into Lyra.
Into
right?
Lyra.
That's pretty hot.
You have to top
But I
deck
mean,
against
in all fairness, Keith drew 3 stubs.
Wow. Yeah, he not only drew but resolved 3 stubs.
That was nuts. That was a really entertaining game. This matchup was extremely close.
Yeah.
Looks like.
This is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of got a top deck out of those scenarios, and Paulo did.
I mean, that's the thing with this card, right? You know, you can
You
maul
have
their
to.
hand, but you can't stop what's on top of your library.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, you could take a peek at it with Mishra's Ball, but you can't stop it.
Exactly. You know it's coming.
So yeah, really interesting. A lot of different lines.
Yeah.
Both players got to see some sideboard tech.
Yeah, so yeah, Paulo did end up bringing those angels, and I think like angel into untap, swing angel colonnade. It's got to be game.
Are you
right?
surprised to see Teferi still in there? Or one is fine.
I think you should still be playing some amount of walkers.
Oh, there's still a rest in peace in his sideboard.
That seems interesting.
I know he has 3 in his board. So it looks like he's brought just the 2 in.
I think Rest in Peace just does too much to not bring it in.
Looks like he's thinking about bringing in Terminus. Looks like he's bringing back in 2 snaps in the Terminus and taking out the rest in pieces.
He's taking out Rest in Peace on the draw. That's not
I feel
absurd.
like that card's
But I
very
feel like-
powerful to be playing 0 against Death Shadow going
Yeah.
into game 3, right? But I mean, if you're looking to just rely on snaps, generating value, answering everything, whoa.
He's bringing in Knots on the draw.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking.
And a surgical.
Ooh.
Whoa. He's gonna
I think
not,
Surgical's a little bit of a trap in this matchup.
I think it is. I don't like.
I think 90% of the time, if you're not playing against like Dredge or something, that's a trap. But
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, is he like going for the super deep line of counter your Death Shadow, surgical it?
I don't even like that.
No, I hate that so much.
I mean, maybe
nah.
like snap, target. I don't even
I don't
know.
think this isn't a matchup for Logic Knot. I don't think, right? There's like occasionally like a moment where it's gonna be good, like it was
Like
decent.
I get the
back
idea
then.
of like, okay, they're not completely dead because I took out the rest in pieces. And like, I can see the mentality, but I just don't think Logic Knot is a good enough card in this matchup.
No, I really don't think it is. I don't think it's what you want to be doing. And I think
Would you prefer the 2 more Terminuses?
I like Terminus in this
Instead,
matchup.
yeah.
I think like your plan is to remove their threats and
I think you wanna be-
have strong top decks. You need strong top decks, and Rest in Peace is still like a reasonable top deck. Logic Knot's not going to be a good top deck. Like at least you get to cut your opponent off of their snaps and their delve threats and their kick command if they brought it right.
And like being able to Teferi tuck a gourmet angler or something with the rest of piece in play, like
That's huge.
That's massive, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Death Shadow plays enough lands in the deck to hardcast a gourmet angler. I think they play 6, maybe 7.
How much is it? Cost 7, right?
Yeah.
I think they have 5 shocks.
5 shots and 2 basics.
So they could do it
Yeah.
in theory.
Teach them a lesson. Just don't thought scour yourself. And it'll
Just never thought scour.
It'll land that taps for mana.
All right, so this game is off to a quick start. Keith had the. What happened?
He bobbled, and then fetched, and now he is casting Thought Scour after Paolo just played a tap land.
Beautiful.
Oh, not any tap land. Celestial Colonnade.
Oof. The beater. The boy, the 4/4.
So I mean, that's something you got to be scared of, right?
Sarah Angel on a land.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what that card is. Close enough. But if you're Keith, you got to be worried about that colony, right? Like if you weren't before, you're like, oh crap, right?
You're like, that thing is gonna.
He's
kill
probably
me,
sweating
man.
like, how do I lose this game? I don't have an answer to the second colony. Like when the second colony comes down, you're like, oh gosh, this is definitely a way to lose this game.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
But then it didn't matter because the Lyra came off the top. So
Yeah, and then like at least he gets to see the Lyra, and he's like, how do I beat this card? Right?
I think
you're looking to like Liliana minus that card, or you're looking to swing past it with like double dash shadow or something.
I think it's just something that you want to try to avoid.
Yeah, just hope he doesn't draw the one of. And
take it with this card.
Eats your Gurmag anglers.
Yeah, what removal spells does he have to handle it?
Well, he has presumably brought in the Liliana of the Veil, and he can minus that.
Yeah, I think that's. He's got to have D-Stroke, right? D-Stroke on a Lyra is going to be filthy if it happens.
So are those dismembers staying in? Are they, if they were out?
There were 2 in the main.
Yeah, so.
You almost have to keep one in now, right? Especially after you saw your opponent.
But if you took them out, and left the pushes in, now you're sort of reconsidering, like, okay, Dismember kills Colonnade and Lyra.
Yeah.
So. Okay,
the
so
hot
let's
price
see
of
the.
1 in 4 life. All right, let's. So yeah, he's casting
there's
an
that O's.
Inquisition here.
Look at
This hand
these
is
answers.
chock full of removal, and then he's got the knot and the op. I mean, the knot is gonna make. I mean, it's interesting that he takes the knot, but maybe he has a walker, and he
But
wants to
then
get
don't you
one
take the-
activation off it. I don't know. Maybe you take the
Yeah.
purge there. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe he wants to
Just like
resolve
threat
another. Maybe he
and
has
have a
another
stub up.
discard spell.
I don't know.
Maybe he wants to go Snap Inquisition, right? Which is kind of where you want to be. So you get to rebuy your Inquisition, and you get a 2/1 to boot.
To boot and to battle.
All the way to boot.
Well, here's another Thoughtseize. Well, I guess here's a Thoughtseize from Keith. Probably targeting Paulo.
Paolo, yeah. That's why they call you
Let's
the
see what he
big
drew. He
brain.
drew another land.
Okay, I mean, you're looking at this. Are you taking the Oust here? Are you taking the Purge? You can draw Walker.
I don't know. It depends on what Keith's hand is like and what game plan he's going for too, right? Like we can only assume he's going for the grindier game plan, but we haven't seen Walker yet.
I mean, if he had a Liliana,
He did have a Lily last game. He had Lily Last Hope in hand.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So I mean, if he brought in Last Hope, I'm assuming he's also bringing in the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, so he might. I think he would have snapped that off right away if he had a Walker,
had
but
the
I think
Walker
he
in
might
hand
be
earlier, yeah.
thinking, okay, if I draw one, this game. If I draw Liliana of the Veil, this game's probably over right now. Right. But I mean, there's only one copy, so.
There's a Death Shadow in
We'll
the bin. It's a
see.
great target for Last Hope to bring back.
Oh, did that get Thoughts Guard?
I think he did.
Very nice.
Very nice. All right, Paulo. Cracking that fetch. So he can go for the opt. He does. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially since you have Terminuses in your deck.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you just
No,
want
it's
to develop, use
definitely
your
a
mana.
consideration. I mean, his hand is all removal spells, and he's like, let's find something that isn't a removal spell.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
he's
he's
probably
thinking.
deathly afraid of a Walker coming out right now. He's like, I need to find an answer for that. I need to find
That's
Since he brought the Logic Knots back in, he's like, I need to find a knot or something.
Yep.
It looks like he has that Lyra in his hand. So
Nice.
Looks
Let's
like he's
resolve
just
that.
like, let's just survive till turn 5, and this
Yeah.
should be a walk in the park.
Lily of the Veils can be gonna be
Oh,
trouble though, that's for sure.
it's gonna be a powerhouse. Full show.
Your opponent resolves Lily of the Veil, and then you just can't play your Lyra ever
Yeah.
until you draw
And even
a
if you
snap.
do, it's like sack it.
Yeah.
Like your hand's gonna get mauled, and you're gonna have to play it. But I mean,
I feel like that's almost like the first thing I discard. I'm like, this is never relevant.
this is true. But I mean, if you draw a purge or something, and then
Yeah.
Lyra still wins the game.
I mean, he's only running.
You draw if you draw a snap, then you go
Oh,
snap,
two purges.
snap
Yeah.
purge, and then
Snap Purge and then smash that Lily.
yeah, I
All
don't.
right, here's a Death Shot or Gurmag for 1 for 2.
So he drew the
He's
swamp.
paying 2 mana for the Gurmag. That's interesting. He's like,
Oh, so that K command did come in. So he still has that K command. I feel like there's probably more junk in there, right?
yeah, there's a lot of junk in his trunk.
Maybe he's worried about it getting bounced, and he wants to just keep a lot of.
Yeah, keep as much fodder as possible.
But
Well, if
I
it's
mean,
hit
I
by
feel
a
like you
path-
just. Oh, is he looking to not search off that path? Oh, he has the island in hand. That's heartbreaking.
Oh,
He
I was gonna
drew
say,
the
is
swamp
he-
and had the island
I
in
was gonna
hand.
say he could not fetch so that when he gets Field of Ruined, but it doesn't matter. 'cause
doesn't
he's
really
gonna
matter.
have
You
the
might as well
extra
get
mana
it
anyway. So I was like,
now.
that's a weird line, but yeah. You
The
saw
only
you saw
relevant
the
there
island
is
in hand there, yeah.
The only relevance there is if he like, has like a ghost quarter or something, and like ghost quarter your island.
That's
and you want,
painful.
and you want to keep it for later. I don't know, but then if you draw it, it feels so bad. I'd rather just get it out of my deck.
Yeah.
But that's rough. It looks like he does
Oh,
have
got
a
the
snap. Okay.
Snap, D-stroke, and another land. That's
So I mean, he can
Six
snap
land.
Thoughtseize that Lyra away, but I mean, he also has the counter spell.
yeah. He's also got the
Oh,
D-stroke.
there's that. There's that ghost quarter, which is gonna be strip mine.
So relevant. Yeah, I guess he's just gonna go for the Lyra, and he's just gonna get crunked by this D-stroke.
I
which
mean, I don't hate just jamming it there. Like,
I don't hate jamming it.
what are you gonna wait longer? It's gonna get any better against D-stroke. I think that was his last land. Oh no, he did have a.
I mean, if he untaps with the Lyra, then he can swing for 9, right? Which is lethal.
This is true. Yeah, I think it's totally fine to go for that.
Plus,
I mean,
there
so
are very few
now are you
D-strokes.
just tunking in with that colonnade, or is this 3 hits just not that relevant?
I don't know if it's really where you want to be, but I guess it depends on the shape of the hand, right? Like, we know he's sitting on 1 more removal spell, an Oust, right?
Yeah.
I guess we're going to go for Snap Discard here.
No, snap colon swing.
Bring back the Death Shadow, make you discard.
Discard a card.
Discards a Hollowed Fountain.
Okay, so he's hanging on to that
Yeah,
ghost
he's going
quarter.
for the Grind Clan, which is very appropriate. But he's got to race that Colonnade now.
I think he's fine. He's like 3 hits, right? 3 hits is not that fast. I mean, that's pretty fast. Because he gets to go hit you, he plays a Death Shadow, hit you again, and he's only going to get 1 hit with the Death Shadow, right? The snap will hit twice, but realistically, that turns off really. He still has snap. Not snap, sorry. Still has push and presumably dismember.
Yep.
Obviously, Liliana the Veil doesn't kill it. Really interesting
great.
to see if he just goes for an attack.
Go ahead, draw near people.
Let's see. I mean,
I think here it's a free attack. It's not like the Death Shadow is going to come back and hit you.
And you're not ousting the Snap.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. And honestly, Oust is perfect here because it's still a 3-turn clock, right? Gain 3, go to 12, sure. Irrelevant.
I mean, maybe relevant for a straight Wraith draw.
yeah, you're not wrong.
You're like, just go up with straight
man.
Wraiths.
Yeah, but he goes for the attack. I guess we're going to go see a Death Shadow here. Double Death Shadow seems really interesting.
Does he have double Death Shadow?
I don't know. I saw another black card in there. I just don't know what. It might also just be a land.
Be great if he had
There's definitely
push.
a Pluto Delta in there.
I mean, if you're playing, you have to handle that.
And we still know
Colonnade.
Paolo has 1 removal spot in his hand, right?
Yeah, he's still got the Oust and random card. And he's looking at them.
So,
He's
like,
I
I
can't
mean-
even remember.
Yeah. Oh, it's so dirty because he gets to hit with the colonnade and still Oust.
And still have the Oust up, yeah.
But you have to apply pressure. Oh, he has 2 lands in hand. And sorry, he has a land and something else. I just don't know what.
It's not looking good. All right. The Field of Ruin. Let's hit that man.
So he gets to play like Ghost Quarter if you really. But I mean, at this point, like Keith has a ton of mana.
You just... Yeah, you can go for the Oust now, make sure it resolves. and then you can play the land, hit with the colonnade. That way, you don't get punished by putting Keith to 1 and then getting hit by a stub, and then the crack back. The crack back there is just 13, but maybe
And it gives you the option of, let's say you oust now, and he has an answer to it, and then maybe you don't want to drop him by 4 life. Maybe you don't want to make that Death Shadow 12/12.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden kills you with the Teamer Battle Rage. Not that you don't know if it's coming, if it's going to be in or not. Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely the right play, just to see if that oust is going to resolve and then reassess from there.
Play your land, crash for 4. He's on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, I definitely like this. Keith is pretty much forced to draw removal spell next turn.
Yeah. Smash. Colonnade you.
I think he'll take a quick peek at it and then.
I like that he's taking the colonnade lines this game.
Yeah, for sure.
But to be fair, like when your hand has removal, you're like, I'm just gonna try and cast it, right?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to
Yeah.
predict what's going to happen or what your opponent has. Like, you really need to be paying good attention to what your opponent is telegraphing. And I think that's really the mark of a really, really good player, is to know when to go for those colony beats.
Yep.
And when not to.
Yeah.
Did he draw it is the question.
Oof, he's street.
He's gonna
racing
try to
for
draw it.
He's digging. Oh, well,
no,
he knew
because
the
that
Death
was
Shadow's there.
Good.
Ousted.
So he has to have the removal spell, right? He has a push? Is that
no,
a
I
push?
thought it was a stroke.
I think I saw fetch plus push.
Oh, that'd be so hot.
If so, this is gonna be.
Oh my god, I think it might be
hilarious.
a fatal. Oh, god. I'm just gonna wait it out. Just gonna.
Animate, swing, push, kill you? What the? I mean, it's not.
It's not kill you yet.
It's not. You're right. It's not kill
Come
you
on,
yet.
man.
Oh, but he drew. Apollo drew another
That Death Shadow's
land.
only a 9/9.
No, actually, he should be at 2 off of the street wraith, right?
Oh yeah, there we go. Uh-oh.
Still not really relevant, but
I don't know, it's kind of relevant. Like, if he draws an answer, he might just die to that Snapcaster.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. that's
11,
fair.
12, 13. Ooh, puts him to 3.
Apollo drawing land into land. Not really gonna be good if Keith has the push here, which we think. Keith is so excited for this.
Oh.
I think he's just. Oh.
Was it? Did you
I
get it?
don't know. It's so hard to
The
see.
glare. Oh, man.
Oh, he plays the land.
Like,
got it.
how big is your brain if you don't animate that?
I mean, you
Like, are you looking
you
to
have
go...
to animate. You can't animate on the blocks, right?
No,
If
you don't. But, like,
You're not beating push.
how many black sources does he have? Because he has a Ghost Quarter and a Field of Ruin. No, there's no way you can get all the black sources. Yeah, you have to. Dismember?
Yeah, it's just mine.
Could he have waited a turn?
He could have.
Could have gone Field of Ruin a black source, Ghost Quarter a black source. and
Well, you
then-
only need to cut 1, right? Because the Phyrexian.
Yeah, but he has... he has 4 black sources, so he'd have to cut...
Those ones are tapped. So he could have,
No, but... Oh...
right? He could have done it before. I mean, now he's just Field of Ruining after the Dismember, and I think that's just feel bad.
Wow. But it's still in your main phase. You'd have to almost do it in your upkeep, right? No, I guess you could do it at the beginning of combat. You can animate your thing. Wow, that's so interesting.
That does it there because he has the Swamp Path, so you can Ghost Quarter or Field of Ruin and then animate, and it doesn't. But like, are you playing around Dismember there? You kind of have to. Your
But I
game
mean,
is-
I feel like you're on the cusp of when you're going to animate this and you have to just... It's hard.
that's
You didn't
a
see
tough
it,
spot
like,
to be
yeah,
in. He
you
didn't see
don't-
the
you
Dismember,
don't
but
even know
like that's
he's
hard to
playing
see, right?
Yeah, that's really intense. Wow, what a game.
And now he's just.
What is he thinking about?
I mean, he's.
Am I going to get condemned? Miracle off the top?
Yeah. Oof. Oh, drew. That was three wins in a row there.
Brutal.
Really unfortunate, and that means Keith drew the Dismember there, which was very key.
Pretty consistent. Sometimes people board in the liars and stuff against me, and sometimes
Wow,
they
that was
don't,
really
so
exciting.
Oh, because I think he had a
He
bobble
gave two. I
draw,
had one
so he
push
was
away
able
that.
to...
I had one.
Else goes second from the top or third from the top?
That was a straight wraith. He drew into the Death Shadow off straight wraith.
But Oust is second. Teferi is third.
That was intense. Wow, what a match.
That was very exciting. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
That was game 3.
Baby.
It was good.
2-1 me.